Today on Suncoast View, the greatest show on earth may no longer just refer to the circus you are thinking of. We'll talk about Kid Rock's fight with Feld Entertainment.
And it's been a tough year worldwide for natural disasters. And a Suncoast-based nonprofit continues to help those in need of rescue. We'll learn more about Shelterbox.
And fireworks make New Year's Eve celebrations very festive, but they can also be very dangerous. We have help to keep you safe and to keep the kids busy for the New Year's weekend. All that and more right now on Suncoast View.
Welcome to the show, and welcome back to everybody. Yes. I was lonely yesterday.
Right?
Just Joey and I here working on a day after the holidays. So great to have Bobeth and Linda and Sheba Mateo with us.
Happy to be here.
Oh, we thought of you.
I'm sure you did.
You were here in spirit.
At one point, I actually offered, because honestly, since we are good friends, we do text even when we're not working together, and we were texting back and forth through the holiday, and Linda sent a picture of herself looking exhausted. I said to her, if you want to rest, you can come work with me tomorrow, because honestly, I was kind of glad to come in here yesterday.
I was hoping you'd say you'd come over and clean up.
Yeah. No, I
was
don't.
so
I'm
exhausted.
escaping my own mess. I don't want to go into
Yes,
yours.
I agree.
But Linda has family in town, of course, so she's been extra busy taking everybody around and enjoying the sights and sounds. And look at you at Lights in Bloom.
Yes, we were at Selby Gardens last night at Lights in Bloom. It was awesome. And you had to make a wish. My wish, when I put it on the tree, was to sell my house. My granddaughter's wish was for world peace.
You're not supposed to tell your wish.
Oh, you can read everybody's wish. So we were reading everybody's wish.
nice.
There's some good ones. That'll keep you busy for like a day reading that.
That's
What
fun.
a great wish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's nice that Selby has that going on through December 30th, because I know, with having everybody at home too, this is just one of those weeks where you're looking for things to do. You know, you're post-Christmas, but you're still holiday.
Yeah, and
so
the kids need to get out and run and
Yes.
exercise, and you can't just say go outside like my parents did. So we went down to Selby, and they raced through those
And
trees.
speaking of kids, Linda must have done a good job running her grandchildren around last night, because they are sitting quite quietly in our
Look at
studio
that.
this afternoon. Now, one is hiding behind a device, but give a wave,
Put
everybody.
that device down.
Give a wave.
That has been the big thing of the David. There's David.
There we go. Give us a quick rundown of names, and then we're going to talk to them later on in the show.
Okay, if you start with the orange shirt, that's Ariana. She's the oldest. She is 9. She lives in Atlanta with her mom and dad, my son and his wife. Next to her is my daughter Kathy's son Leo. He is 7. He lives here in Sarasota. And next to him is David, who's Ariana's brother. He's also 7.
And he's full of life, I can tell.
Yes, he is, and he lives in Atlanta. And on the end is Lila. Lila is 4. And Leo goes to Bayhaven, and Lila's going to Bayhaven next year.
Mine was going under the
She
table.
just disappeared. She goes to Foundations right now.
How we all
She
feel.
did not get Linda's, what do you say, anytime there's a camera, I'm in?
Yes,
I don't
yeah,
think
yeah,
Lila got that gene.
But Ariana did. Ariana did.
All
She
right.
likes it.
Well,
Yes.
we brought some crafts. You guys hang out and have some fun so you can see what grandmommy, right? Is
And
that
put
what they
those
call you?
devices away. Yes, they
Yes.
call me grandmommy. That's been the major word through the holidays. Put those devices away.
I understand. All right. Well, our word at my house during the holidays is stop eating. But we're not done just yet, because we've got another holiday that we are rolling into, of course, with New Year's coming up this weekend. I want to introduce everybody to a new face in the kitchen. This is Chef David from Premier Catering. Welcome. Gorgeous New Year's spread there. Tell us what we're making today.
We're going to make some deviled crab rolls,
Ooh.
and I got a little antipasto going and some pulled pork sliders today.
Okay,
Sounds
great.
good.
Giving us ideas for our own New Year's holiday. So we look forward to talking to you and learning about how to make the crab. Well, we've all been, obviously enjoying the weather, and that's been warm, too warm for a lot of people. I've heard a lot of people saying, it just needs to cool down. Occasionally, it is good to remember what the rest of the world deals with. Yeah. I have pictures from somewhere very close to where Linda and I spend many a year, Erie, Pennsylvania. Yes, it snows a lot, typically in Erie, but they didn't just get snow. They got a historic 60 inches of snow.
Oh my goodness.
In the past 2 days. This is cold Arctic air. You remember lake effect snow from
I
Cleveland,
lived in
Linda.
lake
Okay, so
effect snow,
Erie
yes.
is like the ultimate of lake
Yes.
effect snow, and so much wind, so much cold air, and that lake is not frozen, and it has been literally snowing since it was late yesterday that they got to 60 inches. It started snowing on Saturday. I mean, there's snow and then there's this. This is a historic amount. It's the biggest amount in the state of Pennsylvania ever in a set period of time. I mean, what do you even do at that point?
But is the lake
It
frozen?
doesn't make any sense. You're
I
going to have to
panic.
shovel your car out over and over.
and the
just
lake
let
is
it
still
pile
not
up.
frozen.
That's amazing, because
So it's
people
gonna
used to
keep going.
drive over that lake.
Yeah,
when
but
it
not
froze over.
usually this
Incredible.
early,
But
in the season.
the mayor of Hartford, Connecticut once said when it snowed really hard, okay, every person has got to eat a pound of snow a day because we've got to get rid of the
Seriously.
snow. So-
I mean, I believe it. I was just looking up some statistics here. The last record was like a 30-inch snowfall in December. They beat it by more than 30 inches.
Oh,
I mean,
doubled.
5 feet of snow coming for your Christmas weekend.
Your car's gone. You'll not find it until
No.
spring.
It's crazy.
You might as well just wait. Just let it sit there.
Right, so no more complaining that 80's a little warm for
Yes.
us.
Thank you.
That was
Thank
the
you for
moral
that.
of that story.
Thank
well,
you.
speaking of snow, we did actually get a Christmas present in my house that I wanted to share with everybody, especially the ladies know we've been a little nervous. My daughter has chosen her college. She got into University of Wisconsin, speaking of snow and cold.
Oh, my.
That was her first choice, and she made me immediately hit accept and send the deposit. So Reagan got her first pair of boots for Christmas.
I was going to say, she's going to need some clothes.
Thank you.
I
Yeah.
thought she got her first choice.
I'm happy for her too, but I do think she's crazy. In Madison this morning, it was 17 degrees below zero without the wind chill.
Oh, she'll have a great
So
time.
that Florida girl is in for a rude awakening.
You know, she's
Good
not going to be
job,
thinking
Mommy.
about the weather in college. She's going to be thinking about
Oh yeah,
everything
when I was
else.
in Syracuse, that's what I thought too.
You
I'm like,
did?
oh, the weather's not important.
And I may
And
need her
then
to
when
talk
I
to
got
you.
there,
Right.
I realized the weather is a big deal.
Very.
Well, Beth went from Caribbean islands to Fort Lauderdale to Tallahassee to Syracuse, New York.
That's not a good idea.
Yeah, I can say I don't mind the weather. I went to school in Macon, Georgia, so it was a little
Well,
warm
no, seriously,
there.
I was like, everyone would tell me, don't do it, and I really thought, like, the weather is no big deal
Yeah.
until my first snowstorm.
Yes.
And then
Well,
I
in
was
the cities.
crying for the rest of the winter.
Yeah, exactly.
Where'd you go?
Well, I started school in Blacksburg, Virginia. So, but I ended up
Cold.
finishing in New York.
Right.
So you know,
Colder.
you're always out in the elements.
You
so at
are,
the
and
end
that's
of
the
day.
thing about college. You're in it. You know, you have to walk to class. I told Reagan, they don't cancel classes because
No.
it's cold and snowy.
No.
They
Not
in
don't
those
care.
areas.
Yep, nope. You
Yeah.
trek yourself there
You're
and
out.
you get over it. So
Yeah, that's it.
we will enjoy our Suncoast weather through the rest of the holiday
Tears
week.
will just freeze on your
Freeze.
face.
Yes, everything freezes.
And the nostril hairs.
Yes, everything freezes. All right, it is time for our first hot topic. And the greatest show on earth has referred to the Ringling Brothers Circus for decades. But the traveling circus has said goodbye. Now Kid Rock says his tour is the greatest show on earth. Well, Ringling's parent company, Feld Entertainment, based in Bradenton, of course, is actually Palmetto, is not too happy about that. They are suing Kid Rock for copyright infringement, claiming the slogan is part of the intellectual property of Ringling and still owned by Feld. Kid Rock also has a song called The Greatest Show on Earth. Is this a problem? What's he
Oh,
thinking?
my daughter's an intellectual properties lawyer. She'll be glad to represent
That
them.
is interesting.
To me,
I'm
it was
her
a
agent.
no-brainer. Yeah, sure, it's trademarked. Like when you look at their
Yeah.
logo,
It
it
does say
says
that.
Greatest
The
Show on
Greatest
Earth
Show on Earth.
TM.
You
Yeah.
can
But you-
trademark words or phrases.
Oh, you can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
You
you
can.
Yeah, but you know what? He's doing this for publicity. He
Yes.
doesn't really care about that title. He's already won. We're talking about him today, and we wouldn't have
He
mentioned
wrote
him.
a song, though, and I thought once the song released by that, and they didn't fight the song, but they're fighting it for the tour. I thought that was interesting.
It is interesting from a marketing perspective.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's using the tagline, so that's trademark infringement right there. You know,
Right.
if he's marketing his song, then you know, it's a song, so it's not the same. You know,
Right.
It is kind of, you know, that slippery slope where it's.
Yeah, I
it's-
think
But I
he's
think
just
Linda's
using
right.
this for publicity.
He wants
Yeah.
publicity.
In the end, he'll
He's
say,
done a
"Oh,
good job.
okay,
He's
I won't
not
use
worried
it
about the
anymore."
money.
Yeah.
He's done a
We
good
know
job.
he's not, you know, he could probably pay the suit and keep it going.
Right.
And
It'll
not
be
worry
interesting to
about
see
it
how
at
he
all.
handles it. But I thought it was interesting too that even though, you know, the circus is not traveling and that moniker is not something that's out there per se,
That's right.
for historical purposes, you know,
It's not
Greatest
historical
Show-
yet.
Feld
though.
But
wants
no, but
it.
the thing, when you hear the greatest show on earth, you think of one thing. Everyone
right.
thinks of one thing.
That's right.
So
And
you
he's
don't
not
want to-
it.
And he would like to be it, I'm sure. So don't plan on hiding in your room in Disney if you go for a stay there. The resorts have a new policy that will impact a lot of people and how they spend their time. with new security measures, do not disturb signs will no longer hang from doors at Walt Disney World Resort hotels. Employees are now required to enter a room at least once a day to ensure guest safety. The measures are believed to be in response to the Las Vegas shooting when the gunman holed up in his room for days before the massacre. There will, however, be providing signs that basically say someone is inside, but there is no such thing as do not disturb.
I'd
What do
hate
you
to be
think?
one of those employees
Oh, I don't
that
like
has to
that.
go in. I mean, think what you might walk in on. I don't think I would.
Probably
Well,
not.
no, I
Well,
need
I
my
think-
quiet. So
So
if I
you-
say do not disturb, I mean
you
do
mean
not
it,
disturb.
right.
Yes, that's, you know, I need it.
I
so.
guess
I
it's
mean,
going to
they
say like
walk in-
guest inside.
They still walk in there anyway.
That's
like,
what I
there's
thought.
days I'm sleeping and they, you know, and I have the do not disturb sign on and they come right in. I'm like, oh, okay. And I go right back down.
Right.
You know, so they walk in there.
I think it makes sense. I mean, the fact that someone
like
was
that.
able
Yeah.
to hole up in a room for 4 days, do all sorts of you know bad things, and housekeeping didn't come because it said do not disturb.
True. I mean,
Yeah.
you still want someone to service your room. I think maybe the parameter should be, you know, each room needs to be serviced by the end of the day or something. You know, not necessarily I don't know if, in my opinion, that the do not disturb sign is the issue. You know
think,
what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think there's
yeah.
going to be a way around it though, because let's say you come in the room, whatever I'm doing, I can probably hide, or I can just stand at the door and prevent you from coming all the way in.
Well, and most of the
Because-
rest of us
Right.
just would be sleeping and don't want to be bothered.
Right,
I mean,
that's what I mean. I
yeah.
think the rule should more be your room must be serviced once a day by our
I
staff.
thought it was interesting that
You know.
Disney's the one that come out with this broad policy first, though.
Or
I feel
metal control inside, so it starts to ring if there's too much metal in that room.
There we go
Maybe
again.
Yeah, I was
I
gonna
It's already
say.
in school.
I honestly don't think this will work though. Like literally, like let's say I'm in my room, they knock and they say, do you want service? I can literally stand there in the doorway and say, no, I'm good, thank you. And you have
Yes.
fulfilled the quota of, you know,
Good
That's
point, no,
correct.
Good point.
and whatever I'm doing on the inside, you can't
Right.
really see.
Well, and
Correct.
if you know you're staying in a place where they are going to walk in your room, you're going to
Yeah.
still do your clandestine things. You're just going to
That's right.
slide
You
them in and
might
out
go
of
to
the
another
bed.
That's right.
hotel.
I think the reality is if people really want to do bad things, they're going to figure out a way to do it.
That's
and
true.
you know, we can't police our lives around their intentions because we don't know what they're going to do and how.
Good
Right.
point.
But they're hoping they'll go to another hotel. They'll just make it hard, and then they'll go to the hotel next
That's
door.
probably what it is.
Right. In which case, I'd like to go to the secure hotel then.
That's
'cause
right.
I know that
That's
maybe
right.
there'll be less problems there.
That's
All
right.
right, Linda's going to love this story. A famous Hollywood actress is celebrating a milestone, and she is showing that 80 is the new 20. Actress,
I love it.
activist, and former model Jane Fonda just turned 80 years old. Earlier this month, she held a star-studded fundraiser for charity in Atlanta and raised $1.3 million for one important platform for her teen pregnancy help. She says there are pluses to being her age. She says, quote, no one is trying to grope you. Obviously in reference to the Hollywood scandals. I was looking this morning back just for some pictures to, you know, put together the story. She's gorgeous. I
She
mean,
is.
the photos taken in the last year of her, stunning.
Yes.
And we should all want to be Linda and Jane when we
Well,
turn
I want to
80.
be Jane. I don't
80s
think
and
she wants to be Linda.
I love it. I love that. You know, and I think that's the important thing with women in general, like just embracing who we are at any age. That, you know.
Life is more fun
really
now
is.
than it was when I was your age. So it'll only get better. It'll only get
I'm having a
better.
blast, girlfriend, so don't even.
I'm thinking I see less stress at Linda's age. You know,
Yeah.
because you're over some of life's hurdles.
Yeah.
And able to enjoy.
I've made all those mistakes, so
Well,
I
you
don't
know,
have to
the
worry
thing
about them
And
anymore.
you can say whatever you want, no one's going to bother you.
Yes.
Not just say you do whatever you want, no one's going to say anything.
You and I are in big trouble when we can say whatever we want.
I can always claim Alzheimer's.
Did I say that? I'm so
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
I'm having a senior moment.
Yes.
All right, well, Mariah Carey will be back on stage in Times Square for the Rockin' New Year's Eve coming up this weekend. You know, last year, you may remember, didn't go so well. She had a bit of a musical meltdown. An audio track malfunction. She was reportedly lip-syncing to her biggest hits, and her crew simply said, well, her earpiece wasn't working. She is getting another chance this year. Would she have been your headliner pick after last year?
No, no.
Let's
I
give her a
think
chance.
her voice is amazing.
Sure.
But this just says how big of a deal she is. The fact that they will be willing to give her another chance, because I know I wouldn't. But you know, the fact that she is that iconic, that they're like, oh, it's just Mariah. It doesn't matter what she does. She can come back anytime.
I don't know. To me, there's other people that, I mean,
Yeah.
maybe they asked and they didn't want to come, or maybe, you know,
No,
I
I
mean,
think she
she's
made
that
a
big
stink.
of a deal.
I think she made a stink, and they were like, they better give it.
Or maybe it's a viewer thing. I'm going to tune in to see how she does this time.
Oh,
that's
so a
a
lot
good
of people will
point.
say,
That's a
okay,
good
let's
point.
see what she, and you can't leave your TV
That's a good
because she
point.
might melt down at any time.
Well,
Are
if
you
she's
saying-
smart, she better learn how to sing the song and remember the words.
Right,
saying
without an earpiece.
That they're
Yeah.
preying on the fact that we're watching to see if something goes wrong versus
We
to
do
see if
that
something
all the time,
It's
though.
so bad. But I think you're right.
Yes.
Same with Janet Jackson's Super Bowl, you know? We were all waiting to see if anything happened
If
there.
anything else popped out.
Right, you never know. You never know. All right, we're going to check in with our happy hour forecast, and when we come back, we're going to talk a very important topic, fireworks safety.
Thanks, Stephanie. We've got a interesting weather pattern shaping up that'll bring us cooler weather for the new year, but not colder weather. I think it's not going to be that bad for those of you that like it warm. But right now we have some high clouds over top of us, but still plenty of sunshine. No showers as we saw yesterday, so it's remaining dry, but there is rain in the state, mainly up in the Panhandle, along a disturbance that's traveling through the Big Bend area right now. Also some showers around Miami. Our futurecast that takes us through the evening hours shows that those showers to the north of us will remain there, passing north of the Tampa Bay area. We could have some patches of fog toward dawn, but it'll burn off to a partly sunny day tomorrow, and tomorrow will be the last of the really warm days. Look at temperatures for this evening. If you're going out, it'll be fair and mild for the most part, but temperatures cooling into the 60s and staying in the 60s all evening long, which is just about perfect for going out and enjoying all the Suncoast has to offer this time of year. Coming up on ABC 7 News at 5, we'll tell you about the New Year's forecast.
Fireworks are a big part of New Year's celebrations, but they're also a big reason for emergency room visits. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says 11,000 injuries a year are blamed on fireworks. And Ashley Lusby from Sarasota County Emergency Services is here to help us avoid those injuries in our celebration. Well, Ashley, this is a huge deal.
It is.
I mean, when you talk about 11,000 injuries, that's a lot.
It is a lot, and you know everyone just likes them because they are pretty to look at. But you know, fireworks get very hot. So.
Well, let's start with the big question. Is it
Okay.
illegal in Sarasota and Manatee?
So basically, the fountains and the sparklers, they're okay. But if it leaves the ground or explodes, they're illegal. So your Roman candles and your bottle rockets, those are illegal to use.
I have a random question, because we have this debate at least in my house, but yet they sell them.
Correct.
Not just on those roadside stands, but at the grocery store. How can they sell things that really aren't legal?
So the ones at the grocery store, those ones are actually inspected by
Okay.
inspectors to make sure that they are the legal ones.
Oh,
But there
good.
are some retailers that they're allowed to sell the ones that explode and leave the ground, but they're supposed to be used for agriculture use. And there's a waiver you have to sign saying that you are using them for their purpose.
Scaring the birds?
Yes.
Or whatever.
So that's how they can sell them, because there is a form you have to fill out saying that you are using them
Okay.
for the.
But if
very
you buy it at the
interesting.
grocery store, you're okay.
Yes, you know, the Publix, the Walmarts, all of those ones, an inspector does go out to ensure that
good.
they are, you know, safe and they're the ones that you can use.
All right. Well, you guys, speaking of going out, we went outside earlier,
Yes.
kids went outside and got some tips on how to use fireworks. Let's take a look at that.
All right, guys, we're going to have some fun out here. We're going to light up some sparklers and some fountains, but we want to do it safely, okay? Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to have you hold one. So when it comes your turn, we're going to have you hold one. And then Mom, she's a little, so for the little ones, we recommend using a glow stick, but you can hold one. Okay? And then just make sure that if you are going to use sparklers, you have a bucket of water nearby, so that way when they're done, you can just dispose of them in there, because sparklers burn up to 1,200 degrees, so you definitely do not want to leave it on the ground where somebody could step on it and hurt themselves.
1,200.
Yeah, isn't that pretty hot? That's pretty hot. When we light off the fountain, we're going to also want to back away too, because you don't know how big the shower is going to get. And then always make sure you have a fire extinguisher nearby, so that way if it does get out of control, then you can put it out. Make sure that it's on a level ground and away from your home, so that way the showers and sparks don't catch another fire, okay? So we're gonna light our sparklers, but when we do it, we gotta make sure that everyone's away from each other, so that way you're at a safe distance. And then just hold it away from your body. There you go, now hold it away at an arm's length. There you go. Good job.
Is it going to explode?
No, these ones won't explode. They're gonna do just like that. But like I said, they get really hot, so you want to keep it away from your body, and you don't point it at anybody.
What are you supposed to do?
You just hold it just like that. Here, no, stay away from him so there's a safe distance. And then you always light them one at a time. You don't light multiple at once because sometimes they don't always start at the same time. All right, and we're going to stay back to watch this one. See?
All right, so actually that seems safe, but we know that there are a lot of things that can be dangerous. What are some of those do's and don'ts?
So for the do's, you want to make sure that you have a bucket of water nearby. So those, because the sparklers, they burn at 1200 degrees.
Wow.
So that's why it's very important that when you're done with them, you want to put them in the bucket of water. You don't want to put them on the ground because then somebody could step on it and easily get burned. Supervise children at all times if you're using them. And you know, the smaller children, we really recommend that you use a glow stick for them and not give them a sparkler.
That's a good idea.
Because their arms aren't that long, and then you know you want to hold it away from your body, so that's why we recommend glow stick. And then always use the sparklers, fountains, anything. Make sure you're outside and away from buildings. Don't do it in your garage or a carport or anything like that. Make sure you are away on a solid surface.
And just be out there. My daughter was out there with her kids, watching very closely.
And then more don'ts.
And then for your don'ts, make sure that with the sparklers you don't stick all of them all together at once and light multiple, because they always burn. They might start at different times. Then you can have one that burns down and you could get burned that way. Don't leave any that are used on the ground. Make sure even the fountains, once they cool down, dispose of them in water to ensure that they are completely cooled before throwing them away. And then don't use illegal fireworks. Make sure you're using the proper kinds.
Okay, well, these are really good tips, and we definitely will need them because, as you say, people always end up in the emergency room. So, if you guys want to get more information about Sarasota County and their emergency services, you want to go to the Sarasota government's website, and they have a list of all those things there. And for safe New Year's celebration tips, you want to check out one of the many community fireworks displays, and we have conveniently put them on our website, mysuncoast.com, to help you out. Next, we have kid-friendly ways to ringing the new year. We'll be right back.
My life motto is keep moving. And as hard as it was when my husband passed away, I knew I had to keep doing what I love. Oops, coming. But I needed help with my insurance, and that's what the NAIC provides. They have resources to help you and your family make the best decision, and they'll help you to keep moving forward, just like me.
It's time to take a road trip.
Alabama's got 100 road trips, and some will take you back in time to the Civil Rights Movement or even the Civil War. You boys play nice now. From Helen Keller to Hamlet. Check out these big guns. We're talking the USS Alabama. Alabama's got 100 road trips. Plan yours at alabama.travel.
Which one you gonna take? Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get Debt-Free Now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-628-1251, 800-628-1251.
For more than 100 years, American Humane Association has been teaching kids to be kind to animals. Those in our homes, on the farms, on the silver screen, and wildlife conservation, caring for the world's vanishing creatures. But we can't do it alone. Visit kindness100.org to find ways to teach kids how they can make a more caring, compassionate, and humane world for all of us.
Oh, those are my grandchildren. Isn't that a handsome looking group there? Wow, are they good looking. And guess what? New Year's Eve isn't going to be quite the party it used to be with 4 young grandchildren visiting at my house, but there are ways to celebrate before the big ball drops and actually include everybody. So I hear from our guest host, Sheba Mateo. You're also a mom besides our guest host.
Yes.
So you have some good ideas on how we can have a New Year's celebration.
Yes.
And keep sanity.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. So
That's
so
the
if
key.
they're too young to kind of stay up through the night, what you want to do is trick them. So Netflix this year, or actually every year, Netflix has a countdown. So if you just go to the Netflix account, like if you have an account, it's free, and you can look up New Year's Eve countdown or simply countdown, and you can create your own a countdown and kind of celebrate with them.
Oh.
Prior.
So you could play it at
anytime.
like 6 p.m.
You can play it at 6 p.m. You can play it tonight if you want.
Oh,
And you can
that's
be with them.
amazing.
That's exactly right.
Look, honey, it's New Year's now. Go to bed.
Exactly.
I think we better wait on New Year's Eve, but
Right.
then they could go to bed at 8 and they have had the New Year's countdown.
Correct, and they have a lot of the same, characters like Puff and Rock, Beat Bugs, all kinds of characters that they're used to seeing on, their favorite shows. Anyway.
That's
so
great.
No Mariah
that's
Carey,
great.
but
yeah, right. Now, also, if they are, a little older, but you really don't want them kind of, out and about with their friends, you could do something fun like set up some balloons and kind of go through and start popping the balloons, based on each interval. Like you could start at 10, you could start at 11, you can start, anytime you want to just kind of
And so
make
count
it
down
fun.
with the bursting a balloon at each, like 11, 11, 15,
That's right.
11, 30,
That's a
11,
good
40.
idea.
And you can have all your son's friends over. This will be
Oh,
great.
Linda, thank you. That would be wonderful. A whole bunch.
what I'm looking
A whole bunch of 13-year-old
the
boys
balloons.
popping balloons.
Right. So it's fun, So Netflix, I think, is a great way to go.
It'd be harder to trick them about
Well, I think the
time.
balloons are great too. Yeah, you're not going to fool those boys.
No,
That's right.
absolutely not. But I think it's a good idea because a lot of people, it's, whether you want your kids to be involved or not, they want to be involved.
Yes.
So at least if you can make it fun for them earlier on, like we bought sparkling apple cider, we did all that, to have little toasts and but early.
Yes.
We're going to do safe sparklers and the countdown. And New Year's Rockin' Eve is on ABC 7. It starts at 8 and it is going to be awesome. The kids can watch this till they go to bed. And coming up next, a Suncoast nonprofit made 2017 better all across the world.
Family owned and operated since 1979, Minnesota Flooring has been a proud member of our community. We are proud to provide career opportunities in the flooring and cabinet industry, to partner with local organizations where there is an opportunity to improve our society and better our community, and to continue to provide the quality flooring and cabinets you want for your home. Minnesota Flooring, so many possibilities, worth exploring.
I'm calling in regards about my mother, and I'm here, and I just want to thank you because it saved my mother's life yesterday. And I'd like to know the names of the people that came in and saved her so I could call and thank them. And she's doing fine. It's a wonderful thing. Thank you.
When you fall and cannot get up, an accident can turn into a tragedy. But with Life Alert, one touch of a button can get you help fast. Life Alert saves a person from a catastrophe every 10 minutes.
Life Alert is a lifesaver. If it weren't for Life Alert, I wouldn't be sitting here today.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-652-3012. That's 1-800-652-3012. Call now 1-800-652-3012. For a free brochure, call 1-800-652-3012.
When my youngest, Addie, was 2.5, she was diagnosed with leukemia. When we first heard that diagnosis, you feel extremely alone. Walking in that Light the Night light with 6,000 people carrying lights, white for survivors, red for supporters, gold in memory of those who have passed. It's the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society's hope that every year there are fewer gold lanterns. Your lantern will make a difference.
Start a team, join a team.
Help us light the night.
Thank you.
got a king?
Go fish!
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Chris Domine is a husband, father, an athlete, even an Ironman. But 10 years ago, Chris's kidneys were failing.
The doctor said if you don't do dialysis, if you don't get a kidney transplant, you are going to die.
Then Chris received a second chance, made possible by an organ donor.
Your well-being changes from loss of hope to better times ahead.
Imagine what you could make possible. Learn more and sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov.
Welcome back to Suncoast View. We're going to check back in with Chef David from Premier Catering. And there's a big party New Year's Eve at Sarasota Municipal Auditorium, and you are a big part of it as the catering company. Tell us what kind of food we can expect.
We're going to have a full Mediterranean spread. We're going to have deviled crab rolls, which I'm going to be making here in a little bit. We'll have a pulled pork slider station, lots of different mini desserts and chocolate-covered strawberries. Of course, the champagne will be flowing.
Of course.
As long as, you know, as well as other drinks that night. So
all right.
It's going to be lots.
It sounds like an amazing way to ring in the new year, and you're invited. This is, of course, Sunday, December 31st, New Year's Eve. Party starts at 9 p.m. And for ticket information, you can go to SarasotaNewYear'sEveParty.com. And we're looking forward to our preview. We'll see you in the kitchen in a little bit. Bo Beth?
Well, we know all too well that 2017 was a tough year for natural disasters. Locally, we were impacted by Hurricane Irma, but worldwide, hundreds of thousands of people needed assistance. And Suncoast nonprofit ShelterBox USA played a critical role in helping many of them. Mark Midiet is here to tell us all about the year they had. I mean, you guys really stepped up and helped a lot of people.
It was a busy year, unfortunately.
Oh, you were so needed.
It was. Currently, there are over 85 million people displaced by natural or man-made disasters in the world.
Oh my gosh.
When I first became involved with this organization as a volunteer, it was 25 million people.
Oh my goodness.
So, and it's predicted between now and 2025, we could expect 250 million displaced people in the world.
Oh wow, from natural
that's
disasters.
A lot.
Yes.
All right, so for those who are not familiar with ShelterBox, tell me what it is.
We are an international disaster relief charity, and we provide temporary shelter for people that have lost everything due to a natural disaster. Primarily, we are known for our shelter box, which is a box that has a number of items that include a tent, cooking utensils, tools, solar-powered lights, water purification, mosquito netting, and various items depending on what is needed for that type of disaster. We have actually transitioned to providing more targeted type aid. As an example, shelter repair kits for somebody who has not completely lost their home. We provide tarpaulins and tools where they can actually rebuild and put roofs back on.
Right.
Or ultimately, there may just be a need for water purification or mosquito nets. So that's whatever type of aid is needed for that specific situation is where we try to help.
Wow. And you guys are based right here in Lakewood Ranch.
We're based in Lakewood Ranch, and we also have an office in Santa Barbara, California. And both offices this year have been affected by natural disaster. We all know too well what happened with Hurricane Irma.
Oh, yes.
And many of our staff evacuated for that, and then we actually set up a command center here in our offices trying to identify what type of aid we would need. And most recently, our office in Santa Barbara has been evacuated because of the wildfires in California.
Tell us about Hurricane Irma and how your response may have started here, but ultimately ended up focusing in the Caribbean. What did you discover after that?
Well, in Florida, we looked at the type of aid that is needed in Florida, and it wasn't the type of aid that ShelterBox typically provides. And in the Caribbean, we identified a number of countries there that some places like Bermuda, 95% of the island had lost every structure. And the families there actually are just now coming back from places like Antigua because their kids are have been in school in Antigua, and now they're transitioning back, and there are people living in our tents in Bermuda and other places in the Caribbean right now.
That's a long time to live in a tent like that.
Could
got
be
everything.
Could be as much as 18 months is what these tents are designed for, because it takes a long time for people to ultimately rebuild their home.
Yeah, it definitely does. And speaking of rebuilding, the flooding in Texas, tell us how you guys helped there.
When Hurricane Harvey came through Texas, the flooding there was very significant. A lot of people lost their homes. A lot of people ended up in shelters long term. For example, the George R. Brown Convention Center was housing over 10,000 people. And one of the things that they identified a need for was what we call our shelter in a shelter solution, where we could provide tents that people could utilize for medical services, counseling, AA meetings, religious services, and they utilized our tents for all of those services.
Privacy. I mean, think about being in a shelter with 10,000 people.
Nursing mothers.
No privacy.
That's
Wow.
Definitely a lot.
That you have that.
And you mentioned in California you've been helping out there.
We haven't been helping in California. Actually, about 1,000 homes were burned in California. And the aid that we provide really wasn't appropriate for California, but our staff actually had to shut down and evacuated their offices and their homes for several weeks. And I spoke to our president who lives in Santa Barbara. Even though they have allowed them to go back in, there's still a lot of ash and smoke in the air that's very toxic, and people are coming down with severe lung problems.
And really quickly, let's talk about what is in the box. I know you have some examples on the table, like the light and the bags. Of course, you mentioned the tent.
So we have the primary thing that people see in our from Shelter Box is the tent, but other things that are needed after a disaster are tools. Imagine having lost everything, how valuable a hammer and a saw could be. Rope. Luminades, which are a solar-powered light that are in these little inflatables that will diffuse the light. Water purification, mosquito netting if it's appropriate and needed there.
And stuff for kids. This is one of my favorites that you include.
That's nice. Yeah, the children's activity kit is really good because parents can't focus on rebuilding if they have to focus on keeping their kids active. So being able to provide that is able to focus the kids on some other activity than the situation that they're in. And we provided a number of those to Syria. And it's aided while kids were being, used them for schooling where they didn't have a lot of opportunity for school and supplies. So they utilized that in Syria.
That's brilliant.
Well, what you guys are doing is amazing. Thank you so much for all the work that you guys are doing. Now, if you guys want to get more information, go to Shelterbox's website and see how you can help, or just visit them just to get more information about them. Next, Linda is going to introduce us to a few of her favorite amazing Suncoast women. We'll be right back.
ABC 7 News at 7, weeknights.
Being the caregiver for someone you love is truly a blessing. But sometimes you can lose a part of yourself. To be your best, for them and for you, it's important to have time to be able to recharge your batteries. When you call Tidewell Hospice, they can give you a chance to do just that. And with the peace of mind of knowing your loved one is in the very best hands. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
From our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is an ABC 7 News Update.
Good afternoon, I'm Jacqueline Matter. Here's what we're working on for 5 o'clock. With Sarasota County looking into budget cuts, how the community is coming together for local projects. Plus, a Florida university aiming to save lives with cutting-edge technology. How something that looks like just a game may one day save students during an active shooter situation. Now let's get a check on our first alert weather forecast with Steve Newman.
Jacqueline, we've got some cooler weather coming our way. Not as cold as I thought yesterday. The models are coming up with a different solution, but you will notice a difference. It's not going to be the big, sharp chill that they're getting up north, but we'll get brushed by the bottom end of it by New Year's Day. You can see some high clouds over us today, but really not nothing in the way of rain, and we should stay dry right on through tonight. Coming up on ABC 7 News at 5, 6, and 7, I'll have a look at the forecast for the new year as well.
Get breaking news alerts focused on the Suncoast. Download the ABC 7 News app.
We are problem solvers striving for answers. Relevancy on every platform. We are driven to create content that's compelling, engaging, where it matters. We are neighbors that care about solutions, believers in making a difference, leaders, innovating in an exciting era of multimedia, reaching to always be the gold standard in our evolving landscape. We are Raycom Media. Find your opportunity today.
Attention, Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you getting all the benefits you're entitled to? Did you know there may be money available to lower your medical prescription costs? Call Health Markets and we'll tell you if you qualify.
Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Jeetsi. It's a new Medicare year. That means more changes and more confusion. The key question is, what can you do now to ensure you get the care you need in the coming year?
Call Health Markets today. You may qualify to save money on prescriptions. We'll help you find plans that may cost less, cover more, and could even lower your prescription costs to increase your savings. We help you find all the benefits you're entitled to, and we do it at no cost.
Make sure you have what you need to get the care that's right for you.
Find out if you qualify to receive extra help with your prescriptions. Call the number on the screen now. Representatives are standing by.
Welcome back. Every week, Linda Carson sits down and learns the life stories and life lessons of an amazing Suncoast woman. And they're all so diverse, she comes back raving about these stories. So we asked her to share some of her favorites with us today. And let's start with a woman you just met, Dana Pounds.
Dana Pounds is amazing. She was a marine biologist, and she was traveling all over the world, diving, doing research, when she got cancer in her leg. She fought it, she kept diving, she kept working, and then she got a different cancer in the same leg. So she lost her leg, and while going through treatment for that in her wheelchair, she started Nature's Academy. So every fifth grader in Manatee County, free, gets to study the environment out on the beach. She's out there in her wheelchair. Then the treatment for her cancer caused her to have cracks in her pelvis. She is out there all the time working. She is never sitting still. She is totally amazing and does great things for our community. And then also a lady that I know well from behind. Debbie Shook is a sailor with the sailing squadron, and she was, when I was sailing, way out in front of me, so I never got to see her except from behind. But Debbie was born with a leg that never developed, so they took it off when she was about a year and a half old. She quickly learned to ride a bicycle. She got a new leg when she was 2 or 3. She skis. She met her husband skiing on a ski trip. She plays golf. She sails. There is nothing that woman can't do. And she helps other people with disabilities to do the same thing. So she just shows you there's anything you can do if you try. And this is a lady that had a wonderful Christmas. Jackie Swain. Jackie Swain lives in Newtown. She has been a foster mother for 40 years. Now think of this. I've got 4 grandchildren. She has 100 foster grandchildren.
What? Oh, we love
100
that.
foster children. They have grown up with her all the years, and it's not like they go away. They come back for Christmas, they come back for Mother's Day, they take vacations together. Their children call her grandmother, and her house is packed all the time with these foster children that she has raised.
Well, that's an amazing
she and her husband have 2 children of their own, I think. And she has always lived in the same house, always taken care of these children. She started out by seeing a young girl in need, and somebody said, well, she's got to have a foster parent or we don't know what's going to happen to her. So she stepped up and volunteered. Somebody sent another one. And Sarasota Sarasota County has honored her for all of her work over the years.
And how do you choose the people that are amazing women?
people that have overcome barriers and done something for the community, people that have accomplished great things but have also overcome barriers themselves and have made great accomplishments in their own life. And this can be in any kind of situation. Another lady that I thought was truly amazing was the Bradenton Police Chief, Melanie Bevan. She is raising 2 boys while she's being a police chief, which is not very easy, but she is working very, very hard. She is a great police chief, and she's a great example, I think, to all young women. So she is just a real great role model. And you know, the last question I always ask each of them is, what is your life lesson? What have you learned over the years that you can share with others? And first, they all say the same thing. Never give up. No matter what happens to you, never give up. Because all of these women had to overcome barriers. They had to work extra hard to accomplish something, and that didn't stop them. And they know that no matter what people tell you, you can still do it if you are that determined. So that's our life lesson from all of them.
You can find a way.
You can always make it happen.
It's one of our favorite things that you do, Linda, and it's just it's truly heartwarming how each and every week you meet another woman who has fought back and achieved something.
I've got some great ones coming up. Wait till you
we'll look
meet
forward
them.
to it. All right. Thank you, Linda. Thank you for sharing with us. And one thing I love, too, is that you can see all of our amazing women. They all get posted online. If you go to mysuncoast.com, you can look back and look at the in-depth stories of the women across the Suncoast that Linda introduces us to. So thank you for that. Okay, Linda's grandkids are in the studio. They have been so quiet. We are completely overwhelmed by their great behavior. Now we're going to see if they have something to say. We're going to send over our ace reporter to talk to them. Stay with us.
This is an important medical announcement. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to uncontrollable bleeding and even death. If you've been prescribed one of these drugs and have experienced these dangerous side effects, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that Pradaxa can cause more heart attacks than warfarin, and other countries have already issued safety warnings against this drug. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. The call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to Pradaxa victims, and thousands of Xarelto victims are filing their legal cases. Call the Drug Watch hotline if you or a loved one used Xarelto or Pradaxa and experienced uncontrollable bleeding, brain hemorrhage, or even death. You must call now.
Call 800-793-6055. 800-793-6055.
Glasses and contacts. You need them to see, but they put such a strain on your life. Due to new advances in vision improvement technology, LASIK is now affordable for almost everyone, with procedures starting as low as $299 per eye. And over 1 million procedures performed by our trusted independent surgeons. LASIK surgery is a sensible, safe, and affordable solution to improve your vision. So call now to talk to a LASIK Vision Institute counselor and schedule your free evaluation.
1-800-813-0109. Florida Studio Theater has extended the 8-time Tony Award winner Once. Captivating and breathtaking, Once is an unforgettable story about going for your dreams and the power of music to connect us all. Critics are calling Once engaging and heartwarming, outstanding, and a flawless production. Audiences are calling it phenomenal and better than Broadway. Once is now playing through January 14th. Tickets can be purchased by calling 941-366-9000 or by visiting floridastudiotheater.org.
My name is Stephen Jaffe. The law firm's name is Farmer Jaffe. One of the beautiful things about Julius is he's always smiling, and it becomes infectious. The fact that Julius has a disability has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of work that he's done. Just a great person you want on your staff.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
Hi, I'm Ray Collins. More discussion tomorrow about Manatee County's plans to buy the premier sports complex in Lakewood Ranch. The plan would cost the county some $5 million, but tourist tax dollars would be used. A preview tomorrow on Good Morning Suncoast. John?
We'll take a look at the week ahead and update you on what we expect to see New Year's Eve.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Okay, meet the most important people in the world, my grandchildren. This is Ariana. She is the oldest. Okay, you've been sitting here all morning, all afternoon, watching Suncoast View. What do you like about Suncoast View?
That people are on TV.
Do you like being on TV? I think that's a yes. She's been asking me how long before we go.
She's a mini Linda.
Right.
I think she is. And tell me what you wanted to do most when you came to Florida.
Swim.
Swim. She lives in Atlanta and she wants to go swimming. So where are we going to take her swimming, Leo? Where are we going to take her swimming?
At your house.
At my house. But where is my house? This is not my own house.
To ours.
Yes, I'm buying a house right next door to Leo. And we hope it has a heated pool. We'll find out. Of course, you're sitting next to David. David and Oriana live in Atlanta.
I know, very fun. David, what is the best thing that you've done visiting Grandmommy?
Play with the drone.
Play with the drone?
Tell us what happened to the drone. What happened to the drone?
We're on top of our neighbor's roof.
Oh my goodness. So Santa Claus brought you a drone?
No, yeah.
Yeah, and it ended up on your neighbor's roof?
Yep.
Did you get it back?
Yep.
Oh, okay, good. Did you go up there and get it?
Nope.
No. Did you watch?
Yes.
Yep.
Nope. Yep. David is a man of few words. And of course, this is Lila on the other side. Lila is 4.
And she's become good friends with Sheba.
Yeah, so can you tell us what you made? What is that? A what? What
A
kind?
flower?
Yeah. Is that a daisy?
How cute she is.
Looks like a daisy, doesn't it?
Yeah, they saw a lot of flowers last
I
night.
love that.
We went to Selby Gardens and they had a great time last night. And we are going swimming no matter how cold it is. It's warm.
Well, Linda, we love to see you with your favorite people in the world. Endless energy, endless patience. It's great. So.
She just brightens up if that's even possible.
Oh,
She just
yes.
gets brighter.
Oh, being a grandmother is the greatest. So hang in there.
All right, we're headed to the kitchen because eating for New Year's Eve is the greatest. We're going to join Premier Catering to get ready for the big New Year's Eve party. Stay with us.
Watch Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7, weekdays starting at 5.
For the last decade, S&S Motorsports of Sarasota has built custom high-performance vehicles for demanding clients worldwide. They're now bringing their 50-plus years of combined build expertise to the parts business. SRQ Performance Parts is your one-stop shop for all your performance parts and accessories.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard live up to a set of time-honored principles.
I will always place the mission first. I will never accept defeat. I will never quit. I will never leave a fallen comrade.
Learn more at nationalguard.com.
From our studios on Florida Suncoast, this is an ABC 7 News Update.
Hello, I'm Jacqueline Matter. Here's what we're working on for 5 o'clock. The Suncoast tightening security around its New Year's Eve celebration. What the city of Sarasota is doing to keep you safe while the pineapple drops. And taking a quick look at our first alert traffic, the interstate is looking clear, but we are seeing a lot of red heading northbound along State Road 70 just before Cortez Road. Now let's get a check on our first alert weather forecast with Steve Newman.
Jacqueline, we've got some high clouds coming in, and we're going to start seeing more clouds than sun or clear skies tonight. Maybe some patches of fog, but all in all, we have at least one more warm day, and then the weather patterns change. Coming up on ABC 7 News at 5, 6, and 7, I'll tell you about those changes that include some cooler weather, maybe some wet weather, and I'll have the forecast for midnight on New Year's Eve as that pineapple drops in downtown Sarasota with Bob Harrigan officiating.
Download the all-new ABC 7 First Alert weather app now.
It's time to take a road trip.
Huntsville is a must-see destination. Is this your stop?
Roger.
Marvel at the U.S. Space and Rocket Center. Wow. Step into the past at Alabama Constitution Village. All aboard! The golf is stellar, and even the food is out of this world in the Rocket City. Alabama has a road trip with your name on it.
Which one you gonna take?
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential. There's no cost and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the barred IVC filters. Call the IVC filter hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Make your holidays sparkle with style. Browse our amazing showroom, cute collectible cottages, and beautiful Christmas displays. Find the inspiration, selection, and quality you need to deck the halls merry and bright. Christmas Traditions also features the area's largest selection of quality pre-lit Christmas trees, every size, shape, and color, and plenty of decorations to make your home shine for the holidays. Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Visit us on New 301, just a quarter-mile north of University Parkway.
Designers do it with style.
Tell me what's going on here, because
Why, you don't like my hair?
The Mark and Mandy Show. In-depth design ideas.
What is up with the tuck tape here? Let's cover it up.
Amazing beauty and fashion tips.
So Halle Berry has amazing skin. Her secret is coffee grounds.
No.
Delicious recipes.
Today, I'm gonna show you a special dish that is sure to please that special someone in your life.
Watch The Mark and Mandy Show right here on your favorite channel.
ABC 7 News at 7, weeknights.
Welcome back. We're here with Chef David from Premier Catering. And tell us what's going on here today.
Well, we're making some New Year's Eve hors d'oeuvres. And what we're going to make today are these deviled crab, mini small ones, not the big giant ones you get in Ybor.
Okay.
They're a little more bite-sized.
Right.
And it's got a sriracha and key lime aioli with it.
Ooh.
So it kind of counteracts
Spice it
the
up.
flavor. Yeah, a little spicy
All
for
right,
New
show
Year's.
us how to get started.
Yes.
So Lynn's going to start chopping on this red pepper and onion for us.
Okay.
So you've got to chop it very small.
Yeah, smaller is better because you don't want the big giant chunks in there.
What about the inside? Did you take that out?
We'll take that out.
Let me show you. Let me show you a quick secret. A quick secret.
I just told him I chopped for 2 hours yesterday on a dish I was making.
If you do it that way, you got a nice flat pepper.
Oh, look at that.
And
How
then
much
you can
easier to...
just-
Oh, wow. Of course, the real trick is he's doing this now. I don't have to do it.
Oh, this.
You were so fast. I needed you at my house.
Yeah, if you just take the side right off the pepper,
Uh-huh.
and then just take that little bit of a vein out of there.
And scrape it out. Okay.
Make sure you don't have the seeds, and then you can just slice them straight and turn them sideways, and then you end up with a dice.
Aha, okay.
You got a tip.
You better do better than I did, Sheba.
She's going to start breading some of these for us. So we're going to scoop them into the into our breading.
Okay, so I scoop them
Just
here.
just flatten that scoop.
Okay.
Let me show you. Oh, I'm sorry.
I do this often.
We do it.
I'm always
we
in
just
the
do
kitchen.
one flat scoop
Oh,
like
flat
that.
scoop, got it.
So that's
Oh,
already
right in
mixed
there.
crab and spices?
This is mixed after what we're going to make in a minute. And then if you take it and just kind of shake it around in the flour.
Okay.
And then you take it in your hand and just kind of fold it, roll it like that. You make a little football shape.
Got it.
Into the egg
Here,
wash,
okay.
and then into our breadcrumb.
Then
So it's a triple
Oh,
dredge.
And we'll go back into the egg,
Then back into the egg.
and one more time in the.
Wow, that's more than a triple.
Yeah, you know the ones you get at Ybor, they take old bread and they mix it with water and they make another thick dough that they wrap around.
And then what happens to this?
And it ends up being thick. And then these we can just drop these right into the fryer.
Oh,
Okay,
so
great.
you use a little strainer to help with it.
Yeah, this way we're not having to try to.
All right, I just have to
you don't want to
find
go
the
fishing when
strainer.
you're in there trying to get them out.
Oh, so that makes it easy.
Mhm.
So the filling is crab.
It's gonna be crab meat. We're gonna put it all together here in just a second.
Okay. And then so once you get them start cooking, how long does it take?
Oh, they only take about 45 seconds in there.
Oh, so not long at
Once they
all.
get golden brown, they'll be ready to
Okay,
go.
so I have to ask, how many of hundreds will you be making for this big
Oh,
New
my.
Year's Eve party?
I shudder to think. I shudder
And
to
when does
think.
the sauce? Okay, so you make the sauce during, after?
We're gonna make the sauce here
Okay.
as well.
You have a little, is that paprika?
This is it's actually smoked paprika.
Okay.
So once they come up, I'm just gonna dust them with a
All
little
right.
bit of
Let's put it right here.
a little salt and pepper
Uh-huh.
and a little bit of a smoked papaprika, yeah, a little shake and bake.
Oh, wow. Put a little spice on
Shake and
that.
bake.
Right on
There
top.
you
You're
go.
good at that, Bobeth.
Right. And they're ready to
And
go.
that's it.
We're gonna serve them like this.
And
they are hot, so.
And you are going to seriously need to make every one of these by hand. That's some labor.
Well, yeah, well.
I mean, I think that's kind of.
I get fast at it.
I guess.
Can I help you with that onion?
I feel like this
Oh, yeah,
is
you
gonna
need to
be-
write
I want to get this recipe rolling.
Okay.
All right.
We lost the chef. He went to help Linda. Needed assistance.
Watch him do this onion in 30 seconds. I would cut
All
my
right.
finger off.
Well,
for
while we
sure.
have Chef David chopping, I do want to point out some of the other great ideas for your New Year's Eve parties. What about pork sliders? You know, you can do pulled pork in the crock pot and then make little sliders out of it, just like Chef David did. This is something I will definitely be adding to my menu because it's easy for folks to eat. And then he's put together an absolutely gorgeous antipasta tray. You could do it French, charcuterie. You could do lots of different things. But just nice to have the grab and go food that everybody can have. All right, everybody duck. I think we already have a camera that doesn't work before I pop the champagne. Remember, New Year's Eve, 9 p.m., Sarasota New Year's Eve Party.com. There's a DJ. We've got Reverend Barry and the Funk playing as well. So it's a big party at Sarasota Municipal Auditorium. That's right. Chef David will be doing the cooking, and you know there'll be this. Okay, Duck?
We won't be helping you.
Oh, I didn't get a big pop.
Good.
I had it under control. Well, regardless, there will be bubbles flowing, of course, as we want to welcome the year 2018. So thanks for having us, Chef David.
Thank you for having
we
me
look
on.
forward to
Oh,
seeing
look
you
at
at
this.
Sarasota Municipal Auditorium. Everybody enjoy the rest of your day. Take some time and enjoy the Suncoast view. Sheba, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Thanks for being with us.
Thank you. Oh, this is so much fun.